Hi peeps, and I've just been sat here filming for 10 minutes and realised it wasn't even filming. So I'll start again. I've just been on Instagram watching I was going to say Laura Dollface then, because I'm getting mixed up with what's the other one I watch, can't remember. Vintage Doll Laura, I'll just quickly show you. I said I'd mention her. That's her Instagram page. She does all, vintage pin-up model. Is it from London and Northampton? Yeah, I found her a bit ago. I don't know how long ago it was. Maybe it might have only been a few months ago. But as you know, on my channel, I just talk about everything, Wiccan stuff, vintage stuff, thrifting, God knows what. I'm just all over the place. And I was thinking lately, oh my God, Janine, you just can't stick to like anything. And then I have a bit of my nails and stuff. But I'm just thinking, I feel a bit of a dick sometimes, but then I think, no, because that's just me. I do flick to a lot of things because I do like a lot of things. Like when I was going on about goth, which goes into like the witchy wooiness of, things I believe in, like the law of attraction, interacting with that. Vintage stuff, home vintage stuff, vintage clothes. I don't know, there's just all sorts of like different snippets of things that I love, and they'll pop up every now and again. Like, I was talking a lot about gothy things a bit ago, and whatever I'm talking about now, but I'll probably talk about that again. And vintage stuff, like I got my little vintage pie looking thing a few weeks ago. And I've got a few things to show you actually that I didn't show you, which I'll show you in a minute. But yeah, so if you're into vintage clothing and hair tutorials and makeup and stuff like that, check Vintage Doll Laura out on Instagram and on Facebook, because she's great. She's a really nice girl. I was actually just talking to her on Instagram, which was really funny, because she was saying about, oh, I think I've heard your name before, because I said I had a YouTube channel. She's like, Dolly Daydream. I was like, I've spoken to you before on YouTube. I was just asking about I think it was how she bleached her hair or something, because her mum's a hairdresser. And then she had these lovely glasses on, like the vintage style. I was like, oh, where did you get your glasses from? But I did manage to get some, but mine aren't obviously bifocals, what do you call them? Glasses. Mine are like sunglasses, but without the shaded bit in. These are sunglasses, sorry, they're a bit mucky. I've shown you them before, but with clear lenses. I quite like these. And then I did get the tortoiseshell ones. They were supposed to be tortoiseshell, but I didn't get tortoiseshell. And these are the ones with the blacked out, because they were only, I think, £3.20 or something, or 50 on eBay. So I just thought, well, get two, because these sort of look like spectacles, but they're sunglasses. But I quite like them. And I love all hair tutorials and anything to do with vintage stuff, because like I do love Marilyn Monroe, and I've always just had a thing about her, because I just think she was a very sexy lady, and ladies were ladies in them days, dressing and stuff. And I still want to get some clothing in the vintage style, and I have got a few bits, but I know people are probably going to say something now, but it's just how I feel. This sounds stupid, because you could be any size, but I feel I need to lose a bit more weight till I get some clothing, especially if they're like vintage, because they tend to be a bit smaller sometimes. But I don't want to get anything, I don't know, I just feel like I need to lose a bit of weight to look how I think I should look, if that makes sense. I'll talk about that again. But yeah, so check her out, because she's great. Vintage Doll Laura on Instagram and Facebook. And just while I was talking about Laura, I did get this skirt off eBay, if you're watching. And I'd say it's like, is it a Lindy Bop style? It's a little bit too small at the minute, because it's a size 12. And I'm like a 14, so I've got a bit of weight to lose yet to get into it. But I don't know what colour it's going to come across on here, but it is like a nude colour, and it's a Topshop one, and it's like that at the top, and it's got a little zipper at the back, and it's, pleats out like that. I don't know if you can see it. And I quite like nude colours, so I did get that, and I don't know, I can't remember how much I got it for. But it wasn't dear. I got that, and then I found these as well. I'm not saying these like vintage style, I just got these anyway, these flats, and they're like fake donkey hair or something. A bit like a Winkle Picker flat. I just got them as well the other week. Can't remember how much they were, but yeah, I think that's a bit of a style like a Linda got style. It could have a little fine knit jumper thing in it, or I don't know, that I need to get some clothes in that, because I was getting dead. I've told you, I was getting dead thinking like, oh my god, but I like this, so I must dress like this, and I like this, so I must dress like this. But I just think I can like all of it and have bits of both, and then when I feel like wearing it, then I'll wear it. My hair, I did have it in Victory Rolls a few weeks ago, but like I said, because I'm trying to get my hair back curly, which is working with the curly girl method, maybe I'll wait till it's a bit longer when I grow it out, and I'll see maybe what vintage styles I can do that were sort of curly, you know, that I don't have to sort of like blow dry or straighten. Laura, I don't know if you have any ideas, but that'd be nice. So anyway, what I really wanted to talk about was passion about what you want to do, like for a career, because I had people asking me today, and people asked before about, you know, the nail course that I was talking about before, bling bling, Laura. I did say to Laura, sorry, that she was saying about nails, that she got her nail beds cut or her cuticles around here when they're not in a good mood. They shouldn't be doing that. I wouldn't go back there personally. I'm training to be a nail tech. I don't do that. If I ever did that, it'd be by accident, not, you know, a lot like that, if they seemed in a bit of a mood. Which I will show you, Laura. Hang on a minute. Yeah, Laura, because you were saying about nails and vintage style nails, and I think you have them light at the almond. This is not going to come across on camera. You can have like glittery red ones. That would have a red undercoat underneath it, like a top red underneath, so it'd look more red. But imagine if you had glittery red. Reminds me of The Wizard of Oz, my favourite film. And I have this red. It's like a bit of an orangey red. And this red, I don't know if this is going to come across because it has got tiny, tiny specks of glitter in it, so it's not like in your face. So I don't know if it's going to come across on here, and it's a dark, this red's gorgeous. You won't be able to see the glitter in this, I don't think. Oh, you can see it there. Reminds me of The Wizard of Oz as well. Ruby Slippers. Cosmic Red, that one's called. That's beautiful. But I imagine you wearing something like that, very glittery. You'd be in love with them if you had red glittery nails. If you're ever up here in Manchester, I only live like 20 minutes from Manchester, 15 minutes. I do your nails for free because I'm training. I do it in my house. But anyway, yeah, if you go to a nail tech, get some glittery nails. I'll tell you what I will do, Laura. Next time I do some red nails with glitter, I'll call them Vintage Doll Laura nails, and I'll take a picture and I'll show them on Instagram, because I did have them red a few weeks ago, and just wondering if they're on my Facebook page. I do have a Facebook page where I'm just putting pictures. I'm not working properly yet, but I do put my pictures up on there. Let me see if I did actually put. I forget to take pictures sometimes, but it's Naililicious by Janine on Facebook. If anyone's interested in looking, let me just see if I did have any red ones. Might have red ones on my Instagram actually. Oh no, I think my main pictures I've got red. Yeah, I think the profile picture's got red nails. Yeah, it has. Let me see. Oh, why can't I see? That's off Instagram. Hang on a minute, guys. Right, so on Instagram, I will have had the picture on here. But yeah, while I'm trying to find this picture, I'll tell you. But yeah, the thing is, people have been asking me, and it's good, like, if you've, obviously, I was a childminder, and before that I worked in a nursery, so I've always worked with kids since I was 19. But now comes the time, because I've had a little one and I'm on my own with a little one and a teenager, I thought, well, I want to be able to take him to school and bring him home, which I never did with my eldest, and, you know, I missed out on all that. So I wanted something that worked around his school times, but also I have a passion for it, because if you've watched me from the beginning, you know I like making things, and sometimes I make journals, and I've made bits and bobs and this and that, and that's why I like it too, because it's quite arty for me. Like, I can make designs up, nail art, nail art is the thing that I want to do. I do bits of nail art. I love doing my glitters. Like, here's one of my nail glitter art things. Don't know if it's going to come across. I did show it before. It's coming across. It's like a summer one. So no, Laura was saying like some chubby nails. I think you mean the ones with all the designs and them ones with the, I don't know, big things on or something. But you can just have classic nails or like the red nails that you're after. But I mean, there's a video there for some red nails, but with silver on. And some are pointy and some are square. That was just showing different variations. And then that picture. But I mean with all these red ones here. Be more like your sort of nail. But there was, yeah, so let me find the other picture. So, oh, here it is, sorry. You can see the two reds, not the one with the spots on, but them sort of red nails. You know, like that. Yay, I liked it when I had red nails. But anyway, yeah, talking about passion in the sort of career that you want is because I love art anyway. I have a passion for that, so you know it's something that I love doing because you've got to also make sure. I mean, if it is just something to make extra money, just to pick kids up from school. The only thing I've learned, I'm 40 now. The only thing I've learned is as I'm getting older, you've really got to do something you love because if you're in a job, I mean, I'm 40, but I've still got. I mean, God, what time? I've said this before. What age do we retire at now? I've still got quite a few years yet before I retire, so it's got to be something that I love. I was getting tired of looking after kids because I've been doing it since I'm 19. I wanted to change and I've always been arty-farty, and the sort of reason I fell into working with kids was because I was at hairdressers because I used to want to be a hairdresser, but I got bored because obviously when you're just doing school work experience, it was just basically sweeping the hair up and cleaning the windows. So I ran off with my boyfriend and then got sent to a school, which I loved it in school because we played with the kids, but we also did a lot of arty-farty things, and I don't know, I just fell into it like that. So I just always worked with kids, but I really do like the beauty side of things and nails, really. And like I said, not because I've always had my nails done, I've just painted them myself, as in normal nail polish, as in I can't stand it when people have cruddy nails. I know it sounds awful, but even if you've got short nails and you just paint them look nice, but if my nail polish started to chip, I'd be like, oh, it's so horrible. And if I went out on a night out and my nails were like not done, I'd be like, just look awful. Because I always think, if you're holding a glass when you're drinking, when you're out, your nails are always on show. So if they look a bit tatty, I'm not saying it's not like you look after yourself. You know what I mean, girls, if you're into your nails. So I've always loved that side of it. So I know when I start working, it's something that I'm going to get up in the morning and I'm going to enjoy. If it's something you getting up in the morning and thinking, oh my God, I was getting a bit like that with working with kids. I don't mean in a nasty way, like I didn't like the children. It's just like, I've had enough of this now, you know. I feel I can't be looking after kids when I'm like 50, 60 odd. I think I'll just be absolutely knackered, you know, because it was like younger kids, you know, 2 years old. They had a lot of them. It's hard work, you know, and I've got Finn now and he's 2 and he's running all over the place. But do you know what I mean? It's got to be a job that you're getting out of bed and you're thinking, oh, you know, I'm so excited about doing new nails today or whatever it is that you want to do. Not just talking about nails. You've got to. It's a long time till we retire, unless you win the bleeding lottery or something and you're very lucky, whatever. But if you're not and you've got to work, it's best to be doing something that you're passionate about because it won't feel like work. That's what you want. If it doesn't feel like work, because don't get me wrong, you might think sitting there doing nails is not hard. It is. You know. I'm not qualified yet, but when I first started out training, you get a bit muddled up and this, that, and the other, and you're quite slow at first, you know, even if you're practicing on friends and it gets a bit tiring and you can get backache and stuff, you know, you've got to be careful and you can get that I can't remember what that thing is in your hands because you're working like this all the time and it can be quite tiring. It's not just like easy, like, oh, sit here and do some nails. It can take, depending on what you're doing, from a normal manicure, could be, you know, half an hour up to 2.5 hours, depending on what you're doing, because you could be doing nail art. Nail art can take time, depending if you're, you know, stamping or you're actually drawing it, painting it on yourself, doing glitter nails. It just depends. So, you know, not knocking anyone saying if you want to go and do a nail course. I'm just saying, not even a nail course, just make sure it's something you want to do for the right reasons, and also it's better if it is something you're passionate about, because like I said, it's not going to feel like a job if it's something that you love. It's awful when you're going to work, because I got there at the end of my job when I worked in a nursery near the end, because it just wasn't a nice place at the end when a new boss came in, and it got a bit like, everyone got a bit like, oh, you know, it was just like, didn't want to go in the morning and stuff like that. And that's the worst thing, when you get up in the morning and you just don't want to go to work. So the day drags, and every day, every week, you're just waiting for the weekend. And really, it's no life to live like that. You should be okay in the week as well. And the thing is, if you want to change it, you can change it. You've just got to make them steps towards it. If it's finding out about a course, because I said I'd talk about my nail course at weekend on Sunday, did I say? Just go and inquire about it. Doesn't mean that you have to do it yet. You might just be inquiring about the price or what it entails, blah, 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 blah. You might want to do it straight away in a couple of months next year, but you just want to inquire. You might have to save up for it. You know, some of these courses cost. Mine did, and it's dearish because it is a good course and it's a known, quite a well-known one. It's not, because what I did one years ago, and I found out that you couldn't get insured in it if you were working at home and stuff like that, so I didn't get my money back because that was a load of crap. So watch what you're spending your money on as well. If you know it's a known one, you know you're okay. And also, if you don't pass this one, you still get another go. You don't have to pay the full amount. You might just pay 20, 50 quid or something for replenishing your gels and acrylic or whatever it is, but not for the whole packet, because you've got that and stuff, which is good. Yeah, in anything that you want to do, go and find out about it. Even if you're building up and you're thinking, right, I've got another year of where I'm working now, whatever it is, but throughout this year, I'm going to start looking towards this and start taking little steps for next year. I want to change my job and try and get into that, or going back to college, night school, or whatever you call it, you know, whatever that. You might not think you can see a way out, but you can if you do little baby steps, even if it's something that's going to take you a year or a couple of years. That if you start making steps, you can start looking forward to knowing that the job that you're in, that you maybe not liking now and you're getting a bit bored of, you're making steps to go and do something else. So you know you'll reach that day one time, but you're just making little steps to get there, because you can't, you can't just have a job and just go, right, I'm going to do this and go and do it, because you still need to get paid, you know. You still need your money, so you have to take the little steps, and then once you've got all that ready, and maybe you go for an interview, and then when you've got that job, then you can leave. So yeah, so I think I just wanted to come on and say that if you've got a passion, think about your passions as well. Sometimes it's easy to say, I want to do that, but do you think you'll like it? Do you have a passion for it? You may find a passion for it as you're sort of learning about it or stuff like that, and that's another thing as well. If there's something you want to be inspired by, just do what I do. Go on YouTube and just Google YouTube a load of different people in whatever, and that could be in nails. There's loads of different nail tutorials out there and whatever. And like, if you want to know more about vintage stuff or how to do makeup and hair and stuff like that, go and find them. Like, I found Vintage Dolora through just putting in vintage hairstyles and that, because I also, there's a few others that I follow. Oh, I'm rubbish name. I'll have to have a nosy. You know, and then you find other people. I'm always scouring because I'm always trying to find new people to watch. And she's a really nice girl, and her boyfriend's lovely too. They're a nice couple. So let me see if I can find a quick. People like where is she? You know, you just keep looking, and other people inspire you to do other things or dress a certain way or whatever, or have a certain attitude to life and stuff, help you, you know, if you're feeling a bit down and stuff. People like Miss Rockabilly, is it Rugby? Some of these are, I think they're on YouTube as well. Who's the one I watched ages ago? Because I'm sure Laura will know. Is it Cherry Dollface? It just goes out on my head all the time. Is it Cherry Dollface? Is it Cherry Dollface? The Cherry Dollface. I found her a few years ago. She does, and it's really good because she does makeovers. She goes around doing makeovers of I don't know if you can see different people, you know, doing women wanting to dress vintage, doing the hair, showing what clothes to wear and stuff like that. And things, but yeah, you just go on YouTube and type in at the top whatever. That's how I find people. I just type whatever I want to know about and see what pops up. It's like when I was learning about my curly hair again. But yeah, so if you want to get a bit of bump, what I'm saying, bump for a bit of oof, if you want to sort of get inspired, have a look on YouTube as well and see, you know, things that you've got to learn about or know about. Just type it in and see what comes up, because you get a lot of inspiration and like see what other people's passions are and all that, if you know what I mean. So I probably burnt my chicken in the oven anyway, but yes, chicken. Yes, I said I was eating a little bit of meat again because, you know, when I said that funny thing about my arms, but I seem to have held out yesterday with my kettlebell, so I'm quite glad about that. I'll be on it again tomorrow. So yes, I might be doing my weight loss thing like I tried before and then fell off the wagon and didn't want to show you and stuff, but no, I've just got to do it. But we'll see, you know what I'm like, random different things coming up. But yeah, Laura, get some blinky nails next time. These are only little ones. I don't normally have little ones on. These are my natural nails. You know, I normally have my pointy ones on, my almond shaped ones. But yeah, I'll do a design, Laura, at some point, or maybe I'll be wearing red nails next time. But if I do them or on somebody, I'll post you the picture on Instagram anyway. So yeah, I hope you like my glasses, Laura. Inspired by Laura's glasses. Not that they're like her glasses, but you know, the shape. You know what I mean. So I'll see you soon. Bye.